So today is patch point 13. The 24-hour prediction was accurate, so that's nice. And we got patch notes. So I haven't, hand to God, I have not read a single word of these patch notes yet. So all of this is going to be new to me. I know that a lot of y'all have probably read this by now, but we're going to go through it, see if there's anything new and exciting and interesting. I'm sure there's a bunch in here. Repair kits and enhancements. So we know that there's going to be, we know right off the knuckle that when you use a weapon or armor repair kit, there's a chance that it gives it a slight augmentation. Weapons, body armor, and plate carriers can now receive a standard or rare improvement when repaired via repair kits. The ability to enhance items opens at level 10 of the corresponding skill. For weapons, it's weapon maintenance. For armor, it's light armor and heavy armor. So that's interesting. So they've broken light armor and heavy armor maintenance into separate categories. So something like a Gazelle, like a class 5 armor that's heavy, will be separate. That's kind of cool. Rare enhancements can only be applied at the elite level of the corresponding skill. So you have to get level 51 weapon and armor repairs in order to be able to do rare quality enhancements. The chance and strength of a normal standard enhancement depends on the level of your skill. For body armor and plate carriers, the enhancement reduces the damage a character receives. I'm going to assume that means armor mitigation, like how much damage is absorbed by the armor as something tries to pass through it, versus you actually taking less damage overall. Weapons can have two kinds of enhancements at the same time. The first is a decrease in malfunction chance. The second is an accuracy increase. Now that is cool. See, neither one of those are really game breaking. Malfunction chance doesn't really give you much of anything. You're not getting extra damage. Accuracy increase is really, really nice. Accuracy increase is pretty sweet. The enhancement is effective within a certain range of the item's technical condition or armor points and will be removed in case of another repair. Okay. So if you end up having it scuffed and you repair it again, you'll lose it or it gets overwritten. Interesting. The enhancement and its value, so it's temporary. The enhancement and its value affect the value of the item, the selling price and insurance, flea market fee. So if you enhance something and then you go to list it, it's going to have a different fee or a higher value, like base value. The intelligence skill now affects the amount of repair points that will be spent on repairs. Oh, that's cool too. So the higher your intelligence skill, the less repair durability on that repair kit is going to be used to fix it. I like that. Okay, now the value of the removed max durability of an item when repairing via repair kits depends on the corresponding skill. That makes sense. For weapons, it's weapon maintenance. For armor, it's light armor and heavy armor. For other items with durability points, it is intelligence. All right, added new skill, light armor. There you go. Skill progression reduces the penalty to mobility, wear of armor when repairing, and damage from melee weapons when struck. Melee weapons. Okay, so penalty to mobility is massive. Heavy armor reduces the penalty to mobility, blunt damage to parts covered by the armor, and wear of armor when repairing, okay? Reworked charisma skill. The skill's progression affects the price of insurance, paid extracts, replacement of operational tasks, price of the scav case, and therapist's healing services. Interesting. So the scav box prices will be augmented by, so it won't be 75k rubles, it'll be 69,420 or whatever when you have 5 skill or some shit. I like it. Okay. Weapons and equipment. Added GP25 Costier 40mm underbarrel grenade launcher for all AK family automatic rifles with a compatible barrel mount. Added M203 40mm for all AR-15 family of rifles. Added SR2M Varesk submachine gun. We have the SR2M and the SR2MP upgrade kit. Standard issue KP SR2 sight, which is the Cobra, the 20 and 30 round magazines. So there you go. So the SR2M, the Varesk, and the SR2MP. The MP is the suppressed one, I believe, right, chat? Added Steyr AUG A1 and A3 5.56 45 assault rifles with mods and mags for 10, 30, and 42 rounds. So there was the 42 round 5.56 mag that we saw before. Added a Glock 19. With 19, 24, and 31 mags, so that Glock 19 is going to be nice. Hopefully they did the G19 justice. The 19X. Added RSH-12, which we saw in the trailer, and it just says added new equipment. There's probably new armor, new bags, There's probably all kinds of new shit. All right, co-op PvE expansion. Added new settings to cooperative game mode. We knew about this. They added a bunch of customization stuff where you'll have variables that you can tweak. No energy or water drain. By checking disable water and energy consumption, the player will not lose energy and hydration over time except from consuming items. With 0 energy and hydration, there will be no exhaustion or dehydration negative effects. That's nice. So that means like for testing and stuff, you can kind of mess around. That's good. Bot configuration. Option to adjust the amount, including full absence and difficulty of bots from the solo offline mode is now available in co-op. So again, more testing stuff. And like, you know, mini games. So people setting up like recess, like Ammunition did, which was really, really fun. Spawn point selection options. You can choose where people spawn. Players now have 3 options for selecting a spawn point. All in one place. All players in a group will appear together in the center of the map as online, or 2 teams. Player in the groups will be divided into 2 teams. So you can make up like temporary, like your own little arena mode. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. You could have players spawn as 2 teams on separate sides of the map, and then that would be so cool. Weather condition options. It's now possible to fine-tune the weather. Oh. Thank you. Thank you, Papa. Nikita, wherever you are. We can actually control the damn weather now. Time configuration. Added the ability to set a specific time of day. Oh. Mwah. When selecting the desired value, the time flow will be stopped and will always correspond to the selected hour. It's also possible to leave the time as an online raid. Perfect. This is the first stage of improving the cooperative mode features. Later, the functionality will be refined. Some of the planned improvements can already be seen in the interface, such as time flow. Oh, that's kind of cool. Health configuration, disabled overload, so you can't have like heavy weight effects, and others. I like that. That's good. Hideout. Added 2 new upgrade levels for the shooting range. The new levels allow you to set up a variety of shooting targets, including moving targets, and use the training program to improve your shooting accuracy. That's cool. So it'll actually tell you like what your accuracy is like on the way out when you're done. So it's got a little mini game in there. That sounds sweet. 5 new stims. Abdalbos 2. A syringe with the homemade drug developed by Sanitar. A new version of the old classic. Looks like Terra Group Labs experiments did not end with the closure of Terra Group Labs itself. So we'll have to see how good or shitty Abdalbos 2 is. SJ-12. Developed for the operatives of special units, slows down some functions of the body, and they temporarily start working with energy regeneration. The drug forces the release of vasopressin in the hypothalamus, which leads to a change in the work of adrenal glands, lowers body temperature, and increases perception. After the end of the action, there's usually a jump in temperature to 40 to 42 degrees as a compensation for the incorrect functioning of body systems. So wait, so this is like an augmented SJ9? So it lowers your body temperature but increases perception. So it's like a sniper drug? So what it sounds like on paper is that it lowers your body temp. So like you're not going to show up on thermals, but this part with increases perception. So I'm going to assume that it allows you to see things a little bit more sharply. Maybe gives you like better hearing acuity, because perception skill was always about like how far away you could hear footsteps, not visual perception. But this like slows down functions of the body, and they temporarily start working with energy regeneration. I don't know if that means like stamina, or if it's like if it actually gives you back like some energy regen. But then at the end, there's a jump in temperature to 40 to 42 degrees as compensation for the incorrect functioning of the body systems. So this also makes me think that they're doing something with body temp in the UI now, because there's always been a section in the UI about like being cold or being hot. I don't know if that means that they're bringing body temp into play now, or if it's just like, yeah, you're going to have faster energy consumption when the stim effect is over. Blood substitute. A blood substitute with the function of oxygen transfer, used as a powerful antidote capable of relieving toxins, poisons, and radiation damage. Also an interesting thing. It was developed by Soviet scientists in the 1980s. It's a submicron emulsion based on PFO compounds. Okay. Once in the blood, it temporarily speeds up metabolism and regenerates tissues, so it has a healing effect too. Negatively affects health in case of overdose or rejection. That's interesting. So, I'm wondering now, drug cocktail kind of stuff, if they're going to start hitting us with OD, and this also looks like it has a chance to fail. So, this might be like a 10% chance or something to be like something that causes you loss of life instead of life regen. But it relieves toxin, poison, and radiation. So toxins we don't have in the game yet. Poisons obviously we do. Radiation damage we obviously don't have in the game yet. So I'm thinking toxin is like biotoxin, like biohazard. So this is interesting. Tramadol, not tramadol, but tramadol, an opioid synthetic analgesic developed for Special Forces Ops. It has essential and spinal cord action, promotes opening of K+ and CA2+ channels. All right, sure. Causes hyperpolarization of membranes and inhibits conduction of pain impulses. I love the jargon. In addition to the analgesic effect, it increases combat characteristics. Overdose leads to exhaustion. Oh, they're bringing overdose in. There's no way that they keep mentioning overdose and not have an overdose effect. Somebody's gonna stim themselves out and they're gonna die. They got to be pulling overdose in. This is like they keep mentioning it. Overdose leads to exhaustion of the body after the effects wear off. Okay. So this means exhaustion is going to be like you're going to lose a shit ton of energy. In addition to the analgesic effect, it increases combat characteristics. So this is probably going to augment like vitality or something, you know, or give you more endurance, something like that. PNB, Product 16, a combat stimulant developed by Terra Group Labs labeled PNB, allows a short-term activation of the inner muscles. The inner muscles, not the outer muscles, the inner ones. You know which ones. Bringing them into a state of hypertonicity. Well, I've always wanted my inner muscles to be hypertonal, which in turn reduces the received damage. At the same time, there's an active synthesis of proteins for accelerated tissue regen. Okay, so it gives you health regeneration. Used for the expansion of the organism abilities. At the organism. It's getting hot in here, chat. At the key moment of the combat. Well, listen, chat, if it stays hypertonal for more than 4 hours, you probably are going to need to seek out a doctor. Allows for use by special forces, has some side effects. All right, so I'm guessing this is going to give you strength. It's probably a strength and endurance stim, and but also gives you HP regen. Added new voice lines for bosses: Killa, Tagilla, Night, Bird Eye, and Big Pipe. Oh, dude, they got voice lines for Night, Bird Eye, and Big Pipe. They did voice lines for him. That's cool. All right, list of changes: rebalanced weapon mastering progression. Oh, I wonder how. I bet you they slowed it down. Or they made it so that it wasn't per like impact of like bullet or pellet, or it's maybe they're giving credit to like headshots and that kind of thing. Because like right now, the fastest way to level the fastest thing you can level in the game is shotguns, because every pellet counted as a point. So you could level up I could get a KS-23 mastered in like a month, at the most a month. Rebalanced trading and prices, added new barter items. Rebalance conditions and rewards in the old quests, as well as added new ones. Okay. Some quests in chains can now become available after a period of time after the completion of the previous one. Wait, they time-gated them? Oh, I don't know if I like that. So that's how that reads, right? I'm not off on that. Some quests in chains can now become available after a period of time after the completion of the previous one. Maybe what they mean is like rather than needing a prerequisite quest, like the one that would normally have come immediately before it, like a branch will open up if you've done up to a certain point without needing to go through like another 5 or 6 missions or something. I'm hoping that's what that means, and it's not going to be like all of a sudden you get cucked because you hit like the end of the quest chain and like therapists like come back in 24 hours or something. Various improvements and changes in the hideout. The spawn points of some quest items have been changed. The item will be in one of the random places located near each other. That's interesting too. So it's a regional quest item spawn point for some of the items as opposed to it being in the same place every time. Some recipes for crafting in the hideout will become available as a reward for completing specific quests. Oh. So you get a reward of like, yeah, I'm going to teach you how to make these rifle rounds or something. That's kind of cool. A new type of extraction is available on streets. To activate it, you'll need to fire a green flare cartridge in the area before the exit. Otherwise, you will be shot by snipers when approaching the exit. All right. So now we have a use for the green flare. Added the ability to craft your favorites as well as a search by name in the craft list. So now we can put a little star on the stuff that we make the most, and we can type in like, I would like to make a Propital or whatever, and it'll filter it out. That's so huge. Added weapon malfunctions for bots. Improved the behavior of rogue bosses. Oh, I wonder if they finally fixed the slow right lean peak. Added complete up-to-date localization for Chinese, Czech, Italian, and Polish. Graphics and sound, FSR 2.1, okay. AMD GPU, gang, FSR 2.1 in the game. Reworked sound mechanics. Okay, all right, hold on. We're gonna need a second. Okay. Steam Audio has been completely removed from the project and replaced with Oculus Audio. Okay. The sound positioning system changes will be noticeable regardless of the binaural sound setting, but we recommend enabling binaural for the best experience. Okay. In the current implementation, the sound positioning system handles a much larger number of conditions to form the final sound in relation to the player's position. Okay. The final adjustment of the positioning is available on Factory, Customs, Woods, and Streets. Other locations will have the quality of sound positioning gradually improved in upcoming updates. All right, list of fixes. Memory leaks. An issue where already looted containers were left open to other players. Oh, that's interesting. So the containers being open to us was never supposed to be a thing. They were supposed to close. Oh, that's interesting. Fix a soft lock issue that occurred when players picked up weapons from bots in the same instances. 228, healing outside the raid. Bots fall through the geometry on custom, spawn of bots, reaction, raiders behind transparent objects, vehicle extractions during heal animation, visual bug in the flea, SSR enabled, head rotation when aiming, fixed sight position on Saiga 12. Saiga 12 had a bad sight position? All right, fixed freezing when jumping over certain objects, complete multiple quests with a single quest item. Flashlight issue in optics. Fixed a flashlight issue in optics after using a thermal. Oh, yeah, we saw that. I saw that. I know exactly what they're talking about. There was a definite problem with that. All right, camera position when shooting with the Crisp Vector with a folded buttstock. Sounds of attachments on T5000, AKMP sights on AK recoil. Fix the change to FOV while aiming with a weapon with a folded buttstock. Fix bots not reacting to death of other bots with voice lines. Fix bots' behavior when they see a player who peeks out from behind an obstacle. Oh, that's interesting too. Many other technical... So that piece right there, I don't know why the hell this just blinked to the bottom. This right here is actually kind of huge. Fix bots' behavior when they see a player who peeks out from behind an obstacle. So I think that's slow lean. Maybe they finally have the bots like noticing people that slow peek off of the, like to the right, you know? The slow peek thing, if that got fixed, that's going to be massive. People are going to suddenly have a problem, including me. Because, you know, that was the easiest way to murder rogues. And like bosses, raiders, that slow right lean peek. Dude, that thing was abused by everybody. Fix the eating and drinking animations from third person. I don't know what was wrong with them. They could just simplify it. All right. That's the patch notes. So what they didn't mention specifically, that was like a major thing that's been touted on socials and everything, is the gym in the hideout. They did not mention the gym, but there are always things in these patches that don't get mentioned that people discover, right? So I would not be surprised if the gym is in and they're just not saying anything. There's no note about Lightkeeper or Zriachi. Yeah, oh, that's also true. Yeah, they never mentioned Lightkeeper being in there, which we saw in the trailer. And they never mentioned Zriachi, which we also know is being added to Lighthouse. So everything that goes on with those guys is a complete mystery. We don't know how to get to him to talk to him, other than seeing that little keypad or whatever. We don't know what the steps are to get in there to say hi to him and see what he's got, see if we can interact with him. Because apparently he's gonna have he's got his own dialogue, he's got his own inventory, he's got his own stuff. There's supposed to be like an in-game interaction like menu kind of thing. Like all of that is stuff that is a giant question mark. So there's a lot there still. All right, chat, say bye-bye to YouTube. Because Saint is going to edit this whole thing up because he's going to be a good boy and do it. We'll see y'all in the next one. Okay, bye.